My favourite plants have to be these, the herbaceous perennials. They really are the clothes of the garden. There are a few rules that you have to follow to make a success out of planting perennial border, but to follow those rules, you'll get success every time. So when I'm planning an herbaceous border, what I'm trying to do is create a picture. So when you stand somewhere afar off and you're looking across at your border, you've got a framed picture to look at. The structure of the herbaceous border is normally the tall plants that we find here at the back, and they're working their way down through the border to the smallest plants at the front. We're talking here about continuity through all of the seasons. So flowers, I want to have them flowering all the way from spring right the way through till autumn. So by combining all of these assets together, you're going to get a real nice looking picture and a lovely looking herbaceous border. What I've done here is I've dug all of my border to a depth of 30 to 40 centimetres, and I've added some granular fertiliser onto the top of it so that there's plenty of food here in this soil. But the final thing that I need to do is to add some lime, which is going to get the pH correct, pH of 5.5 to 6.5. And then just taking the rake, I work that nicely into the soil, and then when I plant directly into this and I water those plants, it will get this lime really nicely deep into the soil so that they can get at those valuable nutrients and that food that they really need to get to grow. So. The successful way for planting any border, any plants that you do, is to plant in odd numbers. So everything I've placed here is placed out in 3s, like these grasses, or 5s, like here, these plants in the front of the border. I've put all of my plants at the correct planting distance because these are small plants from the nursery, and of course they will grow and achieve their final growing size within 3 to 4 years. So what you'll find is that you have gaps within the border. So something I really like to do within the first couple of years is to fill these gaps with annuals. And what it does is it fills these gaps, it stops the weeds coming in, and it provides a lovely burst of colour throughout the whole border throughout that summer until these plants achieve their final heights and spreads. So to planting, and basically I'm going to take this plant out of its pot, and what you'll tend to find from the nursery is that the root has curled itself a little bit around the bottom. So what I like to do is to tease out a little bit with my hands, a little bit of that root, just make a nice hole into this lovely rich soil that I've got here. And the key to making these things grow with everything is water. So I put plenty of water into the bottom of the planting hole, take the soil back round the plant, firm it in a little bit, and then finally give it one more watering over the top, and that plant's going to get the best start that it can possibly get. So the last thing I want to do now everything's been planted in here is to make a nice edge to my border to really frame the planting that I've put inside. The way to do that really is just to take the spade, take the back edge of the spade there, and just simply to flick the soil from the edges back up into the border. And I like to do this twice a year at least. And that's it. I'm just going to sit back, relax, and enjoy my lovely new planted border.